from the off-grid tiny house. It's early morning here and -10 out, and I've if you haven't subscribed to my channel or don't know what's going on, this is my brand new lithium iron phosphate battery that I have brought home from the off-grid tiny house because I'm not living full-time in the off-grid tiny house. Hence, it has no heat over there, and I don't want to damage the battery. So what happened was, I had no loads on the battery except for the charge controller, the MPPT, and the MPPT slowly drained the battery down after a couple weeks or even a week to where the battery shut itself off and was not taking a charge anymore, and it shut the MPPT off, thus shutting off the solar power. So no charging whatsoever. So I brought it home for the winter. Right now you can see these clamps on here, and you can see this little pack down here. This is a lithium power pack that you can use to do a whole ton of stuff. You can jumpstart cars with it. You can charge devices. You can go all the way up to 15 volts with this thing. It has lights on it. It has emergency lights on it. It's pretty versatile little gizmo. But right now, when I first got this battery home, I had to reset it, and inside there's like a small there's a small safety device called a BMS, battery management system, and it's required for lithium iron phosphate batteries or lithium batteries in general, to make sure they're properly charged, discharged, maintained, and have safety over voltage and safety under voltage cutoffs, and low voltage, or not low voltage, but low temperature cutoffs. So don't have to worry about the temperatures in here, but I did at the tiny house, because right now this is climatized, so it's happy, and it has a little built-in display. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But anyway, when I first hooked this up to this jumper pack, we were sitting at like 12 volts at 38% battery capacity charge. So if I click this on, we are now sitting at 44% at 12.2 volts, which is decent. Much better than what it was. But because of my setup for trickle charging this, since I don't have an MPPT charge controller here or solar panels, basically what I've been doing is hooking this battery pack up multiple times to charge up this battery slowly but surely. Now, it's pretty safe to do this, because if, like you said, if you 0 volt my battery, which I technically didn't, because the internal BMS, battery management system, shut off the MPPT when it got down to a certain point anyway, because like I said, when I first hooked this up, we were sitting at 12 volts, 38% capacity, so it wasn't really 0 volted, but in my mind it was, because I couldn't turn this on. I had to re-energize the BMS in there and feed it more power. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just re-energizing the battery, getting it topped off slowly, very slowly with this method. But it just goes to show you, if you're in a pinch, you can use one of these little car starter jump kits that I highly recommend everybody has anyway, for survival, prepping, emergencies. Come in pretty damn handy. Now if you notice, I mentioned this before, but if you notice, this red block here you see has diodes in it, so the power from this battery only can go in one direction, into this battery. So whatever you clamp to, the battery power is only going in to whatever you clamp it to. It won't backfeed in reverse, which is very good because you don't need that happening. So I think the longest I left this battery pack on this battery was only a couple hours, but basically, because this battery pack is fairly small compared to this battery, as you can tell, physical size, means this one has its limitations. So I can only put in a little bit of juice at a time into this thing. So it's going to take maybe 10-20 times to get this up to a decent level. I talked to high tech guy Stu, and he told me get it around 75% capacity, and then it should be good, just for sitting around in the house doing nothing for winter. And then maybe once a week put this charger back on just to kind of top up, and go from there. So we're sitting 44% at 12.2 volts. I'm just kind of babying this battery because it's brand new, and I didn't want to leave it over there in the winter in the dead cold, at a 0 volt condition, right? So obviously bring it home, climatize it. My goal is to get in there full time, and then I don't have to winterize the tiny house and don't have to worry about stuff like that. So that's kind of the goal. So stay tuned for more updates on this, guys, and everything seems to be working pretty well.